Okay, we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, we have kind of a kind of a I don't know how to put it exactly. But we have two games back to back there. We have the same teams in both, just for different leagues and different maps, obviously. Miami Neon attacking first on both maps against Yeagerists. Miami Neon, obviously, the winners most recently of Season 3 of Hyper Series, so I suppose they're preserving that roster and sort of exporting it to other leagues. This first map is Bank, obviously, for Havoc League. Or at least keeping the core of it. This is actually a matchup in the Rose Cortez division between these two. I don't know a whole lot about Havoc, about where these teams are at. From my understanding, this is... What? One sec, sorry. I'm trying to make sure I understand this. What? What? Oh. I am so confused. I'm assuming this is a Week 3 matchup, but they're not really clear over there on Havoc, and so I'm really not sure. Yeah, this is, I guess, Season 4, Week 4? I'm sorry, but they're not very clear there, so, yeah. As I said, Miami Neon, well-established team, strong team, recently winning, I think nearly had a flawless season. In Hyper Series, did win Season 3. Just key players there. Watson as that hard support. Ozzy is another key part of that machination, and then Ducky and Kit also sort of core players. I think Jimmer might be a new acquisition. I'm not exactly sure because I believe he's normally playing with a different team. Watermelon Snooze. On the other side, you have Yeagerists. Essentially original Durag. You have Jedi Joey, you have, Canada there's the rep and sort of the captain of that team. But Jedi Joey is the player for them. Apparently their strongest player. I don't know much about Matt Monaro. I've seen Monaro before, but I don't know much about Matt or Itzhawk. So I'm going to just assume that those are also guys that they're bringing in. Just very aggressive ranked style team, very skilled. So we'll have to see what they bring to this matchup here. 5v4. Jimmer is going to take the first engagement here. Takes down Canada. Jedi Joy taking a bit of damage now. Trying to hold his own over in open, but shut down by Kit Jitsu. As the two G36 players. Jimmer with a double kill now onto Itzhawk. Monaro will pick off Ozzy, removing that vertical player there. However, dealing with heavy pressure here now, as they will just continue to clean up on vertical. Jimmer gets a 3k now. Picks off Monaro. Matt is the last one left, stuck on site in a 1v4 after his entire team went off site and in short order died. He has a minute to burn here. Heavily outnumbered. This is just not good. No part of this situation is good for him. Spots the replicator there. Thermite charge will go down here from Watson onto that CC hatch. Does get a headshot on the Kit. Just catches him swinging that, not really paying much attention. Able to capitalize. Sends out a second smoke there. And he has a minute to burn. Outnumbered 50 seconds. One smoke left. He doesn't seem to have... He has one player watching cams. So just not a very strong position for him to be in here. Watson going to now open up one of these CC walls. Maybe looking to get a plant down if he can. Matt's going to send off that smoke. Try and close off one of the other sidelines here. Is Jimmer is looking for some sort of long angle at the moment to maybe try and pick off Matt. Shooting through that soft wall there. Getting that hard ping. Matt trying to make something happen. But Ducky will shut him down from above. And just a mess of an opening round there for Yeagerist. I don't know what exactly was going through their mind, but it was something, to say the least. You don't need that many players above. So I mean, on this map, you probably want to have 2 roamers, 1 or 2 roamers. You don't need 3 players. You don't need your Fenrir roaming, especially when he hasn't put all his codes out. From my understanding, it's just you're risking losing those 2 or 3 codes that he still has on him. You know, and then just very quickly, I mean, Jetta Joey, good for him to roam there, but just did not have an effective outing there. Okay, let's see. What appears to be the issue? Alright, let's see. We have to rehost, my apologies. Alright, so we're rehosting right now, folks. My apologies for the confusion. Apparently the entire Yeagerists 5-stack all has sound glitch, so that's why they left. Just a moment.
One death.
Let's reset lobby.
The floor is falling now. Don't you hold me? You don't wanna know me. Play dumb. How do you feel the song?
Oh! Your voice makes my dick hard.
Jimmer, you're on the wrong team.
Oh, you dumb bitch.
Jimmer swap teams before he starts it.
Oh, okay.
Swap that
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Who's that absolute man that just talked? Sorry.
Yeah.
Guys, you guys won 1 rounds.
It was Habana, Jackal,
Mirasolus, right? I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. You guys not like roam clear from the fucking like top floor, dude? Because we're fucking.
There's 2 doors on the first floor.
Yeah, go in from one of them.
No. What do you think I am?
Alright, we'll do that just for you guys.
Okay.
I'm gonna jump in a random window.
Don't you leave me.
Okay, we're back. Just a messy first round there for Yeagerists. Went to lockers and lost badly. You know, good effort from Matt. Credit to him. But it's just really difficult to win a 1v4. Especially when the attacking team has that much time to operate. So they don't need to rush necessarily. And just ultimately unable to really deal with that pressure on the objective. So, again, the issue was just the fact that Yeagerists roam. They sort of went all in on it, to say the least, and it did not go well. Sure, you can have one guy roaming, you can have two guys roaming. It's a risky to have three. It's not good to have four. You don't need to send everybody up once you start having some conflict on that roam. Jedi Joey, good for him to be holding open, but just did not get anything done there. Didn't make any impact. And then, you know, Canada being the opening frag obviously does them no favors, particularly since he was Fenrir. You want to be keeping that player alive, and then just sending pretty much every single player out into admin or open to try and stop that clear initiated by, if I remember correctly, Ducky and Kit as the G36 twins. Just, it does not work. It's not the way that you want to be going. So, let's talk about the bans, because I didn't really get to that. The Jocko ban, very standard comfort ban. Not surprised at all by it. Same thing with the Mira. I would disagree slightly about banning the Mira, because I don't think she's really that strong on this site. Or on this map. You only really see her on basement, and she has that very standard hold. You put one of the Miras here, you put another one facing garage. Even then, you can essentially collapse that by just taking these hatches here in in staff and in admin party, pardon me, and in open. You can essentially collapse that by just forcing them off of it and popping the mirrors ideally. I just don't believe that it's worth banning unless it's potentially a target ban, but last I checked, Yeagerists doesn't really heavily feature that Mira. The Hibana ban is a bit surprising. I think that it is a good ban, but I am surprised to see it in play, just because many teams opt against banning her. She is arguably the best operator for getting your hatches down, but so that's going to make it obviously more costly for both teams, really, but particularly for Miami to get these hatches open, because they still, they still have can openers, these secondary hardware gadgets that all these operators bring. You still have a Maverick, you still have Ace, you still have Thermite, but there's nobody that's as effective, as quick at getting those hatches open as that, and can get as many open as a Hibana. Then that Soling span, I'm seeing that a lot recently. Makes sense, strong operator, good on them to get that frag down. Monaro, or to get that op down, as Monaro gets 2 frags down, looking for a third there, caught unfortunately for him by Kitjitsu, looked away at the wrong moment and ended up costing him his life, but still taking down Ducky and that one of those many hard reachers here in Jimmer is going to do them a good favor here. And this lineup, to talk very quickly about it, Monaro leaving, I'm going to pause for him at the end of this round. Talk about this lineup very quickly, as that'll be Kit getting a double kill. Does take down Canada, does end up clearing this roam essentially single-handedly. Bit late in the round, but still. And that roam did end up making quite an impact, getting those 3 frags there. Puts this defending team, these players remaining on site, in a very good situation. Your Kit gonna send out some of those Kawan hives there, looking to maybe force some players out of red, but seems to not have really done much. Monaro returns, so we won't have to pause for him, as Watson, Kit trying to make this work, looking to now drop some hatches and get themselves on site in short order. Jedi Joey takes down Kit, so Watson on 1v3 now, making his way on the objective. Has Case, gonna jump into lockers there, finding Jedi Joey, takes him down. Unfortunately for him, not enough time to plant, and Yeagerists put themselves back at 1-1 here. So kind of a opposite. Oh, man, Jedi left again. So that round was kind of the opposite of what we saw in that opening round. You know, obviously there's no Jackal, so you've removed the strongest roam clear operator available. Nomad's still on the board. Lion's still on the board. Doke is still on the board. Grim is still on the board. We're seeing that now. Not a huge fan of bringing Grim. He's just, in my opinion, a worse version of Nomad. Even after the buff, he's still not very good. But at least he's not terrible. He just went from terrible to bad. So, yeah. Just don't really see a need to bring him. He doesn't bring a lot to the table. His gun is and his Kawan hives don't really do a whole lot because they don't last. They last, 20 seconds? Some short period of time. And sure, that's nice for denying a specific chokehold or a certain area. It's not good for flank watch. It's not really good for roam clear unless you're about to push with it. It's not really good for those pushes unless you're trying to just clear out some small area. Maybe it's just not. I don't see a whole lot of need to use the Kawan hives, to use Grim. Now we will see here after a strong outing on basement, we will see actually a CC, or pardon me, CO, and exec hold here. Not CC, that was last round. From Yeagerists. I'm a bit curious to see what they're doing here. Bringing a very anchor-heavy lineup. In my opinion, they have entirely anchors here. You can argue that you could put any of these players off-site. You can have Matt as that Echo hiding somewhere. You can have the Wamai of Canada maybe roaming. Probably shouldn't be roaming because his utility generates throughout the round, and you likely want that to be either near something that you're trying to hold or on-site. So probably shouldn't be roaming, but yeah, you can have him roaming, you can have him holding an area near site. For example, Rafters on CC is a great spot for a Wamai to hold. You have Kaid, you have that Castle who I can see either on site or maybe holding an extension, and then Jedi Joey as that Warden, who's probably most effective sitting on site throughout the round, denying those smokes, denying those flashes. Though I do see, particularly with Jedi Joey and some other more aggressive players, I do see the kit of Warden being used as a roamer. Matt taking a bit of damage now. Does almost get fragged dead there, but Jedi Joey able to shut down Jimmer in the meantime. Might be looking to now make his way down Spiral. Fight back here. His kit will take down Matt there. Takes a bit of damage now. Traded down, however, by Jedi Joey. A double kill from the Warden, who is just continuing to make his presence known here up top. Continuing to be a real thorn in the side of this Miami attack. Now, very support-heavy lineup, which seems to be now the common thread. Jedi Joey caught from behind by Ducky. They're able to capitalize on just not really being aware of those angles. Really risky to be playing in that open area or even on the spiral stairs just because of how open it is. There's not really any cover, and you have to worry about a lot of angles. Hawk takes down Watson. Ozzy will pick off Lenaro here, as I think the plant there was denied, actually. Did try and sneak on, did try and get the diffuser down, but unfortunately for him, unable to. Canada, the last one left. I have no clue why, with a minute left and 3 players left, he was still roaming all the way down in basement, but does end up giving up sight here. Ducky now going to look to get the plant down. Caught by Ozzy, who's now going to do some cover work here. Does spot Ducky, takes him down and denies the plant. A big play here for Canada, now looking to 1v1 Ozzy here. Has the health advantage, but Ozzy has sight now. Knows that Canada needs to make his way back towards objective. At the same time, Ozzy obviously needs to get that plant down. Has about 30 seconds to get the job done here. Canada trying to make his way back on site. Spots Ozzy. Does take him down. A headshot from Canada. A double kill from the Wamai. A round for Yeagerists. And a clutch 1v2 there. So we've been seeing. I'm going to talk about the round, and then I'll talk about some of these lineups that we're seeing from Miami. But we've been, we've been seeing rather aggressive play here from Yeagerists, particularly on the roam. I mean, having a guy all the way in basement with a minute left in a 3v2 situation, not the way you want to be operating. Particularly when they're trying to get a plant down. You need to be getting guys back to site at that point, instead of having Canada running back upstairs from the basement in a 1v2 situation without sight. Just able to clutch that up, mainly because of just poor coordination. I think once Ozzy spotted, because he was holding this angle there from CO wall there onto top square, and he saw Canada. I feel like, you have to have whoever's planting. I think it was Ducky as that Capitao, looking for that plant. Tell him to move out of the line of sight of Canada, so that way he can stick the plant in a proper spot. You have more than enough time. You have sight. You have man advantage. Half of the site is locked off because of this castle extension that was put in place. And then obviously just after that, not really playing the 1v2. Sure, you can have the guy look for the plant. Sure, you can have him cover, but you can have another guy covering, but you need to be doing that properly. You need to be doing it in a way where you can effectively cover him without him getting his head taken off, because you're not telling him to move, or he's not getting off plant, or just dumb things like that. Then Canada obviously just won the 1v1, because that's essentially what Yeagerist's greatest strength is just raw gun skill. They're a bunch of gunners, a bunch of very skilled gunners. I'm not trying to disrespect them. I'm just saying that they are gunny way, however you want to call it. It's a bunch of very aggressive ranked style players, all playing together in a unified goal here. To talk about these lineups that we're seeing here from this attacking team from Miami, they're very support heavy. That first round we saw them bring, I would say, 2 fraggers, maybe even 3. Lenara taking a bit of damage here. Matt as well, actually picked off by Ozzy. Opening kill will finally go the way of Miami. First time in a hot minute that they've actually got that opening frag. Should give them a good amount of momentum to carry throughout this round. But, second round, we saw them bring 4 players with hard breach. 2 hard breachers, and then 2 players with the secondary hard breach gadget. Breach charge is going down now, as that'll be Kitjitsu looking to open up this floor here. Does get a quick 1-tap on a Monaro. Oh, dear. As 2-man advantage now in favor of Canada, or in favor of Watson and the rest of Miami. Just continuing to open up the site here. Spots 1 there. I think that's its Hawk. Now caught in a corner here. Ducky gonna get a line scan down, forcing them to sit still for a moment here. Hawk trying to navigate his way through this minefield. Jedi Joey gonna start rotating above, looking to maybe make a play here. Maybe try and take out one of these players, giving his teammates trouble on the objective. Hawk takes some damage now. Joey shut down, however. Hawk killed by Kit. And now it's up to just Canada. 1 versus all situation. Off-site. Gonna get called, and I think almost scanned there. Canada gets the headshot into Ducky, but Jemmer will trade him out. It's now back to 2-2 here. And ultimately, really just a numbers game there. They lacked an effective roam. Typically teams will open up vertical from above on that site. There was no player above trying to really hold that. Sure, they had Canada, but he was below. He's not going to be able to do anything below. There's no soft floor on that site. You can't deny a plant from below. There's no point. Have him above. Have him holding above. Have him wasting that time. Or send Joey. He's Oryx. It would be for the best. But no, instead they give Miami easy access to vertical, and that seems to be one of Miami's strong suits, is their vertical play. And so you end up lose that opening frag early, and then you start getting decimated on vertical with plenty of time in the round for Watson and the rest of Miami to just pick apart the site from above. And ultimately, 1v5 situation, Canada can't do anything. Sure, it's great that he got a kill. You can't expect to win a 1v5. So ultimately, just the numbers really caught up to them, and that really support-heavy lineup actually featured as I mentioned, featured a good amount of roam clear, you know, the Lion plus the Doke, and really put pressure on him, both through that audio and the pings there from the EE-1D drone that we saw at the end. Just put a lot of pressure on him as Miami sort of collapsed on him. And to talk again about these support-heavy lineups, you know, the round before this, or pardon me, back in round 3, we saw a very support-heavy lineup. You know, seeing Capitao come out, Nomads, you're seeing Ace, you're seeing a lot of very support-heavy lineups from them. And I mean, last round it was the same deal. See, this round they're sort of moving back towards what we saw at the beginning, where they bring 2 dedicated fraggers and then a couple players on flex and maybe 1 hard support here. And that's what we saw in the opening round as well, in which they ended up winning. So it seems as though they can do this either way, but I would certainly recommend that they lean more towards bringing a fragging edge, because that seems to be giving them quite an advantage here against Yeagerists. That, and also bringing, you know, that Lion or that Doke to put in play. Ozzy takes down Kit. Kit will take down Monaro, trying to chase down its Hawk, it seems, who's just going to lie in wait, gets a quick headshot on a Jimmer. Brings his team back into a man-up situation now. Watson and Ducky, the last 2 left, the FBI SWAT duo, going to try and piece this round back together. So now, 2v3 situation, half the round remains. Watson and Ducky, they have good amount of top floor. I mean, they're not going to have to deal with anybody from Yeagerists contesting them above, but they don't have much else. You know, from my understanding, they don't have any site hatches. They don't have any walls onto site. There's a minute left, but it's truly closer to 30 seconds. You know, with Matt still being alive and having all of his utility, he can essentially lock them out for half a minute. So they need to get moving, and get moving quickly. To talk briefly here about an interesting note from these bans, there was no Kaid ban. There was a Havana ban, sure. So they've made it effectively harder for these the attacking team, particularly on this site, to get vertical, to get those hatches, because a lot of the ground floor, or a lot of the first floor is, you know, is hard, so you can't really play vertical off of it without using those hatches. So without that Habana, it becomes even more costly, and these teams have to either bring more utility with hard breach or be more strategic with what they open. And yet there's no Kaid ban, but Watson here, Ducky trying to get this back together. Ducky gonna push onto site, caught there on Sekal. Jedi Joey with a quick double kill now. Essentially shuts them down. I think they were looking to maybe just cooperatively push Sekal there, but unfortunately mistimed it. Ran really low on time, and were unable to win any gunfights. Essentially, they ran low on time. They had plenty of time, mind you, to get an actual push mounted, even in spite of their lack of manpower. They still had time to get hatches open, to get a push going. But instead, they waited until the last second, popped a couple hatches, just tried to run in against that fully set hold, including the keep of barriers, barbed wire, everything. And Yeagerists just lied in wait. Just was easy work for them. All they had to do was just sit there. And clearly, it was clear from what Watson and the rest of Miami were doing that they were rushing. They ran low on time, and they got sloppy. And they gave up 2 easy gunfights there. But, as I was saying, my apologies, there is no Kaid ban. So that makes it now a lot easier to keep these hatches closed. Sure, there is no Thatcher ban, Maverick ban, Twitch ban. There's nothing like that would make it easier for them to maybe keep those Kaid claws or bandit batteries or anything like that alive. But that does actually, present them with the opportunity here to, to keep these hatches closed more effectively. I think that it's interesting that that wasn't a ban here from either team. Jimmer takes down Monaro there. Gonna very quickly neutralize, or at least neuter. And, hamper, I would say, is the most accurate word. This Yeagerist roam, picking off arguably their strongest roamer in terms of kit. That Vigil, just great operator for roaming, and unfortunately for them, no longer on the board. Didn't even, I think he was spawn peeking, but didn't even get a chance to shoot a single bullet. Just very quickly picked off, and essentially produced a nothing burger on the roam. Canada takes down Ozzy, gonna now clear out that air jab there as he looks to rotate around, looks to continue to sort of make up for a very, very weak performance on the roam by Monaro, as he was just added another death, and that was it. So now half the round has elapsed here. Again, similar push, pardon me, from Miami Neon, as they're going to continue to just put pressure on these windows here into CO, into exec, as Hawk takes down one. Watson going to pick off Jetta Joey off of the Claymore kill. Able to capitalize on Yeagerist aggression there. Canada maybe looking for one. It's Hawk will actually jump out there. Spots one of the Claymores, and Canada will clean up there as he picks up a 4-2 split at half. Just senses that player over there on the open side, the lobby side, pardon me. Takes him off the window very quickly. Gets around here for Yeagerists. Checking the score at half. 7-2, 3-2, 2, 7, 5, 4, 3, 1. Both of the leading fraggers for these teams have the same amount, but I would assume here, and it is most likely true, that right now Yeagerists is out fragging this now attacking team, this now defending team, pardon me, formerly attacking team. They're out fragging Miami. I mean, I think right now it doesn't look too good for Miami. Throughout these rounds, they've just seemed kind of unable to really compete with the fragging power of Canada and of the rest of Yeagerists. So they need to be winning some of these gunfights here. I mean, the majority of almost all of their team is negative here. Meanwhile, you look over at Yeagerists, and the majority of their team is positive. The only the exceptions being obviously Monaro and Matt at 1 and 2 and 3 and 5.
10 seconds left before insertion.
So I am curious to see what adjustments they make between halves, but I think the key for them, since they are now operating from a pretty clear deficit down these 2 rounds, admittedly moving on to, I would say, the stronger half of this map, the goal for them should really be to compete gun skill wise with Yeagerists. For them, it's going to be about really making Yeagerists slow down and really, punishing them on the run. For Yeagerists, it's just going to be about getting the site. They seem to do well at getting onto the objective, but if they can consistently do that for a couple of rounds, they should be able to put this away. Hawk, I think, on the rappel here, trying to find that Mozzie of Getjitsu over on that open side. Might have, I think he just rotated away. Yeah, they've actually opened up, initially enough, this hatch here into open. They don't have an Oryx, so that means that they're not really going to be able to as effectively actually play in that open area. And it also means that now that Sec side, Sec Hall into red is going to be a risky spot for them to play in as they deal with a potential CC push or having players rotate around. So they do need to be rather aware of that here.
Attackers have located a bomb.
So you can see now just continuing to put pressure on this here, just continuing to open up this first floor and preparing themselves to, I would assume, push CC side here. They do have that thermite, which is essentially essential. I wouldn't even add any modifiers to it for the CC push. Gonna likely need to get both of these walls here onto server open. since that hatch is soft, probably just going to keep it that way. Those Osis shields obviously going to allow them some angles here to hold, make it easier for them to now actually get this done. As you can see here, Jedi Joy looking to open up these walls now. Gonna have to deal with those Oruni Surya gates here, as now preparing to deal with that. These hatches open up is gonna make it a bit difficult here. Kitchitsu takes down Canada for the first kill of this round now. I think stops him from dropping from one of these hatches. I would assume that hatch into sec from open here, as just pressure mounting on the server side. Smoke goes out, will slow them down here. Watson still has 2 in his pockets, so need Yeagerists to move quickly between these Goyo canisters and the smokes. They don't have a whole lot of extra time, so they need to be getting moving soon. Matt trying to get a frag now, playing these hatches. Not sure where the rest of the team is here, as they seem to be just sort of splitting up. Jedi Joy gonna look now to smoke, make his way on site. Smoke down, unfortunately for him, by Watson. The final canister goes out. Matt takes down Watson. Traded out by Ducky. Monaro will take down Ducky. Trades him out. Nitro from Kitjitsu. Plant going down from Jedi Joy, trying to stop it. Then Hawk covers. Gets one. Traded out, actually. Kitjitsu takes down its Hawk. Monaro hits Hawk with frags. Now Monaro, a 3K from the Bucks, steps up late in the round. Makes his presence felt here. Couple of skeleton key shots. Takes him out. Picks up a round now. 5-2 in favor of Yeagerists. I'll be right back.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs. Heads out. Go get him, mate. Heads out. You see that? Hacker drone. 10 seconds left. 5 seconds to go. Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb. Reinforcing wall!
Sorry about that, I'm back. But as I was saying, just a good round there from Yeagerists, able to really capitalize on the opportunity presented to them. You know, put a lot of pressure on vertical, on those hatches that were essentially given to them, I would say, gifted, really, by this defending team, by Miami Neon. And you know, I think that ultimately costed them. The fact that they gave those hatches away so early and without a whole lot of resistance ended up costing them. Because sure, they have that manpower still available, but you lose those hatches, you lose a lot of the safe areas that you would otherwise have, really, to operate on that sec side, on red, you know, it may be into gold vault there. So just not having that, I think, ended up costing them later in the round. As you can see, Yeagerists continuing to make this defending team uncomfortable here, opening these up, just trying to burn through all the utility that they're bringing in between the Aruni gates, the smokes, the Goyo canisters, just everything here. Plenty for them to burn through, but they've clearly brought a lot of utility to compensate. Can openers, frag grenades, these EMPs from its Hawk, Monaro with more can openers, Jedi with those thermite charges. Monaro able to actually shut down very quickly there by Ozzy. I think he was trying to drop the hatch quietly, but ended up just going out with a bang. I suppose, unfortunately, a bang right to his head. Matt will take down one there. Ducky killed KIA. Canada will get one here onto Ozzy. He'll drop now towards that gold vault side. Unfortunately for him, taken out by Jimmer, who will get at the trade now. Holding down this vault side, trying to find one. Spots a map there. Not bottom main here, rotating his way around. Trying to maybe back off. Maybe looking for one. Does down Jimmer now. A 1-2v3 situation. Gonna sneak his way onto the objective. Looking for the kill, but unfortunately for him, caught by Watson, who brings it back to even now. As each team has one player, D-Man-O. Jedi Joey takes down Kitjitsu, so essentially a 1v3 here. Watson trying to close this round out now. Jedi Joey looking to maybe get this plant down. Watson will rotate around, try and hold above. Smoke goes out now. That they realize that he's above, rotating around towards this locker side, trying to hold down the line. Jedi Joey with a double kill here on a Jimmer does just confirm the kill. Jedi Joey holding now, Hawk down, Matt down, Smoke going out. Jedi Joey will stick the plant now, swings the corner. Watson with a clutch, wow. And just rubbing it in here, 3K from the smoke, and picks up a round at last for Miami. So, a mess of a round there towards the end for Yeagerists. I don't know if they had, unlike the last round where they seemed to have a clear plan, you know, push CC, get hatches open, force your way in, get the plant down right on the edge of the wall. The last round, they didn't seem to really have that. You know, sure, they put a lot of pressure on vertical. They really played those hatches. They tried to drop in and make an impact from them. But ultimately, they were kind of stopped at the hatches, you know, or at the drops. They just weren't really able to progress past that. And I think that was the issue. And the other thing was just the fact that they didn't really seem to have a game plan, you know. If they wanted to push lockers, they probably should have put more pressure on that garage side, on main, and on, you know, on vault, instead of just sending one guy casually down there to try and get something to happen.
10 seconds left before insertion. 5 seconds left before insertion. Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb. Bomb has been located.
So now a minute in here, not much going on. Canada and Yeagerists trying to just get this moving here. But not too much to be concerned about at the moment. They're just slowly but surely moving through here. They're in a very good position. They have this 2-round lead now. They're 1 round away from match point. And after that last round, which was kind of a mess, frankly, I already talked about, you know, about why. But if they can just get back to form here, that would be certainly ideal. Still, however, they're moving a bit slowly right now, trying to deal with this castle setup here on CO and exec. Let's see if they're able to get something to happen here. 4v5. Matt and Watson trading shots. They're actually trading each other out. Ozzy takes down one. Kitjitsu will get another one here. And Canada takes down Ozzy. Kitjitsu traded out there. Jedi Joy, the last one left here on Rappel in a 1v3 situation. I don't believe that he has any claymores covering him, so might be in a bit of danger here. They're trying to make his way on site. Does not have the diffuser, however, as the rest of his team was essentially just shredded there by the Miami defense. Jeez. So now trying to put this back together here Might actually be running into Jimmer holding the angle there. I think spotting them does actually take a bit of damage now. Is trying to maybe find these other players here. He needs to be mindful of the fact that Jimmer is still likely over there, holding that angle, waiting for him, really. Here's that player on his right. That's gotta actually be Fujitsu just staying there. Just trying to pincer him in conjunction with Jimmer, and he'll fall back now. Runs into a couple of hot shots there from Jimmer. And Jimmer with a quick headshot does close that round out. Still down here, but they're mounting a comeback in short order here. So you can see, Yeagerists taking a timeout here. Gonna try and get things back together. They just gave up 2 rounds off of a 3-round rally, and off of some very good positioning in terms of, you know, your round count. But they need to get back to rhythm here, and it's not looking good at the moment. It's not looking like they will. We'll have to see. The issue right now, I believe, is that they are just not... I don't think they have a plan. They're not really coordinating. It's just 5 guys solo queuing together. It doesn't seem to be as though there's an IGL at the moment. There needs to be somebody taking charge, figuring out what kind of push they're going to be offering, and what they're going to do. Right now, it doesn't seem like that, really. It just sort of seems like they're trying to make something happen, trying to get on site, but then not a whole lot after that.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
If they want to win this here, they need to have a round like what we saw from them at the beginning of the half, where they're going on to, you know, onto basement or onto the site with a clear plan. They very quickly collapse that roam from Miami, win those 1v1s, get themselves onto the site, or get the walls available that they need onto the site, and then from there, you know, get the plant down, force the execute. Play what has been given to them. Right now, they just seem disjointed. Hello. Let's see, who's watching today? 45 as Joey takes down Ozzy. Jimmer takes down Monaro. Kit will actually be traded out, pardon me, I believe, by Canada there. He's just continuing to roll right now at double digits for his team, continuing to lead the charge. You know, Kit as well as at 11 leading his team, so congrats to both of them here. You still do? Yep, I still cast. Maybe not for much longer, just because of, you know, real life, but I still cast, yeah. I do.
The attacker's bomb diffuser has been dropped.
Half the round remains here. Diffuser is down here. Monaro is trying to push forward, and or might have just been somebody dropped it, but I'm gonna assume Monaro died with it on him. So I don't really know why they've just left it there, as they're going to now look to, with a minute left, open up vertical, get things going. Jimmer will bring it back to almost even. Does bring it back to even, a 3K on the round now. Looks for the man advantage, got it, and then lost it as Canada trades him out. A double kill from the ace. Him and Matt going to try and close this round up with his team at match point. Watson holding down the line here, trying to say the buck stops here. Ducky as well, holding sight right now. They do have vertical. They still have plenty of utility to set up some angles and pressure these anchors, but need to get something going soon. Realizing that he's actually on the open side instead of admin. Canada rotating around, 30 seconds left, going to start opening up these walls here, takes down that bulletproof. Now rotating around, maybe looking to make something happen here on the admin side. And Matt drops into admin, spots that black eye, watching him. Ducky now, I'm sure, aware, looking to rotate around. Watson lying in wait on that staff side. Matt looks for the plant. Ducky going to roll around, maybe try and deny that plant. Here's the metal detector. Matt will take him down. Watson now looking to deny the plant, possibly just has to get up and get him off the plant. Canada headshot by Watson. Just some straight fire there. Matt very low, almost taken down, but Matt with a quick double kill clutch from him. Did everything that was asked from him and then some. Got himself on site with the obviously some help from Canada. They're pressuring. Got rid of that utility that was necessary. Picked off Ducky, you know, looked for the plant, heard Ducky coming in, won that gunfight without Canada's help, you know, in the cover. And then after that, the 1v1 essentially, because Canada was unable to win that gunfight there. Should have, but was unable to, really. And so, essentially a 1v1 between him and, you know, and Watson there, as that maestro. You know, looking for the plant, managed to stick it, which I think is a mix of luck and skill, because he was in a rather precarious position, being in the middle of open. And then after that, won that gunfight there. Did everything that was asked of him. And brought his team to match point here. They are in very, very good position right now.
Attackers have located a bomb. 10 seconds to insertion. 5 seconds to go. Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
So now, this defending team, with match on the line here for Havoc, going to go back to basement, where they are 1-1, mind you. Going to go back here and try and pick this round up. They have had a iffy record here, and so they need this round. They need 2 rounds consecutively in order to put themselves into overtime, but still, just not looking good right now. 4v4, Kit takes down Matt. Matt will pick off Jimmer, so really just trading around. The Amaru stomped, I'm going to assume attempted a rush, likely didn't. Not sure, but ultimately, at the end of the day, I don't think that really benefited either team that much. If it did benefit a team, I would argue that it benefits the attacking team, just because they no longer have to deal with Jimmer. You know, removing an anchor from the equation. But I wouldn't say that it is a table turner or any sort of big play for either side. Now, same push being attempted here. Unlike the round that they lost on this site, they're going to look for that same push here onto the CC side. Going to look to clear out this utility, get things shut down. There is a Kaid in place, so they do have to deal with those claws there. Unfortunately for them, did not bring anybody with EMPs or a Thatcher or anybody to really get that fixed, but still going to work with what they have here. Ducky takes down Joey now. And Hawk will pick off Ducky, trades his teammate out now. Ozzy gonna rotate around, maybe look to make something happen now. Flash is going out from Canada. Candela will go out 2 now from him. Just continuing to assault this side of the site, the sec area. And sends all of them out. Don't know what that really did, because nobody tried to push with it. So maybe just trying to relieve some pressure from his teammates. 42 seconds left. The first smoke of 3 going out from Watson, so he is in prime position to make an impact the rest of this round. Monaro, pardon me, actually, that's Kitjitsu as the Warden really essentially made Canada useless. Spots 1 there, but drops into a crossfire. Unaware really of that. Kit will take down Canada. Smokes go out. Now nitros go out. Everything goes out. 20 seconds left. Monaro takes down Kit. Puts it back in even now. As Watson and Ozzy are the last 2 left. Watson just used all his utility. Yeah, Nitro there from Kitjitsu was really ineffective here. So now going to look for that same push here, that same plant, and It's Hawk just slides right into the corner, covered by Monaro, playing aggressive enough to allow his teammate to stick the plant down. It's Hawk going to fall back now. I think one of them might be looking to rotate above, deny the plant that way. It's Hawk, DBNO. Monaro going to rotate around. Says, screw that, I'm going to res my teammate. As you can see, Watson rotates in, going to stick himself behind the reinforcement. Watson down, Monaro takes him out. Ozzy traded. It's Hawk out. Monaro above right now, 20 seconds left. I think getting pinged there by one of the default camps. Ozzy trying to play the vertical, but needs to get on defuse. He only has 40 seconds to get on it and get that done, and he will not have enough time. He will instead look for the frag, but the match is over. He has no time. Confusing choice, but oh well. And it'll be a 7-4 win here for Canada and Yeagerists on bank. 13-5, 7, 6, 7, 6, 6, 8, 4, 10, 11, 6, 7, 7, 6, 7, 8, 6, 8, 6. 8, pardon me. I'm gonna end the stream. We'll be back in a few minutes with another match between these 2 teams, actually.